you. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? What's old like Ford and Chevy's racing? There's a Mustang hologram one there, and then you're over in the corner. So, no, there's gonna be no live stream tonight. Aaron's not feeling so well. So I figured I'd jump on here, and then if you guys wanted to ask any questions on here and stuff like that, at least I could do that for a little bit because that's what we're used to doing on Wednesdays. So I kind of left Aaron a short message earlier, and I said, "Well, I'll jump on for a little bit," and just to kind of give guys that option to jump on here. So I don't know if you guys can share this into like some of the groups or whatever that normally get it shared into. That would be great. I have my group now that we can all get together on. I felt like it would be an easier way for us to communicate if I started a Facebook group. So connecting to the Wi-Fi. I guess I wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi. I guess I'm connected to the Wi-Fi now. Yeah, that's what we just asked, guys. That's if you guys can help answer the question when people roll in here and start asking that. Yeah, he's not here tonight, so I told him I'd jump on for a little bit and I'd talk about some Super Duty stuff. And I got a bunch of oil out there. Krautzer hooked me up. He got a bunch of like T6. He got me the 5W40 formula and stuff like that. He gave me a bunch of Lucas. So he gave me a couple diesel oil options. And then he's got some more oil that he messaged me tonight and said he's going to give me. And I'm going to get that all sent off for you guys and get the diesel oil tested. Um, but in the meantime, I mean, that stuff is expensive. So if you guys got the if you got the means to donate to the channel or donate to the Cash App or the Venmo or something like that that I posted in my last oil video, it does help because it is expensive sending this stuff out. There was some people that actually came through and helped me pay for the last oil test. The last oil test was like 250 bucks that I sent off the 6 oils, and I think I ended up raising about $125 in donations to help pay for it. So I paid for half and the community paid for half, so I think that's pretty fair. But I've also paid for almost $3,000 of other oil testing that I've got no help on, and then that's not included with $1,200 one time spent on oil. The community came through and helped me pay. We kind of raised about $400 on that. I pocketed the $400, but I footed $1,200 up front, so I lost $800 on that, and then the videos flopped. They actually didn't. The videos didn't even generate enough views to pay for you know, the oil testing and stuff that people were asking for, which is the sad part. And I think that's the reality of this is a lot of people don't understand. You can have the best intentions in the world trying to help out the community, thinking that you're gonna recoup what you put into it eventually in the long run. Well, some of it's been months and you don't recoup that money. Sometimes they flop. People don't watch the videos. YouTube doesn't push it out into the algorithm so people can kind of get an idea on the what you're putting out, the effort that you're putting into it to actually have the oil testing and stuff done. They don't understand how time consuming and stuff that is. Sometimes it's very time consuming. I was talking about that a little bit this morning, and I was going to actually let people know like how much time do you actually take when you put out certain videos and stuff like that. So let's take for instance the oil testing. If you guys request a certain oil, I got to go find it or I got to have it delivered. So that means I'm scouring around on the internet. Sometimes I can find it in 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me half hour to an hour or multiple times throughout several days of looking for something specific. Or I got to run down to the parts store, and then I got to run to another parts store, and then I got to go to Walmart, and then I got to bring this stuff home. I got to clean up the area that I'm going to be working in. I have to set everything up. Then I have to write labels on everything. I have to keep track of sending it off. Then I got to go to the post office. I have to send it out from the post office. Then we got to wait a week or two for it to show up and me get a tracking number and then track everything online that they actually received it. And then you got to wait another week or two to get the results back. Then when you get the results back, you have to sit down, you have to edit, either you're editing in the information or you're holding the information while you're putting out the video and stuff. And then you look back and you're like, damn, I just spent $80 in 6 quarts of oil, 7 quarts of oil. I just spent another $250 to get all this oil tested. And now, that's 320, $330 for 6 little vials of oil, and the rest of it's going to sit on the shelf for a few years before you even use it. So it's one of those things where it's a loss until maybe in the future the video gains traction and you get compensated for what you just put out. So it'll be a loss for months and months and months before I recoup that back. I don't know, Tom. I'm not sure why he's not showing up on your end. Um, do I agree 3K oil changes for turbo and 5K for NA? No, not necessarily. I mean, you could go 5K with turbos, but that's mainly highway driving. Um, I just tell people across the board 5,000 max if you're doing highway driving, 4,000 if it's a mix, and 3,000 if it's just around town. What's up, Pooh Stang? He said, "What up, mofo's?" You guys see that? I ain't gonna bring that up right now. I don't know. Some people here might be offended if I bring it up. Super Duty family, how's everyone? That car and van that came from the auction was bigger piece of shit than my rusty Ford Escort. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly if you guys can help out, you can. If you can't, you can't. It's just what I don't get is, there was a dude that messaged me on TikTok and said this is my second time asking for that. What is that? Idemitsu or something like that. Subaru oil. Second time asking for that oil to be tested from you. Yeah, it's like $13 a quart as well. What did you contribute to get that oil tested? Nothing. And then I clicked on the guy's profile. He doesn't even follow me. He just sees my videos when they pop up. It's like, bro, why would I do something for you and go out of my way to spend $50, $54 to have your little vial of oil tested specifically just for you? You don't even follow me. You don't even participate in the channel. You know? It's like people ask for you to do things, but they don't even have the intention to support you. Question about the F-150 ticking noise. Is there a recall that you not have to do the software update? I don't know if you messed that up or not, but it's not, your words aren't driving so well with me. F-150 ticking noise. Is there a recall? What ticking noise? What is the ticking noise that you're talking about? The F-150s make so many different ticking noises that you're not explaining exactly what it is. Are you talking about the rattle on startup? Are you talking about the rattle tick that comes from the wastegate actuators as they're doing their self-check on startup? Are you talking about the exhaust clamp that breaks underneath the driver door, that when you go to accelerate under light load it rattles, or you're coming to a stop it starts rattling, or while you're stopping with the vehicle in drive with your foot on the brake it rattles? What are we talking about? You got to be more specific than that. The Chevy truck. I should have put the Ford truck poster on this side. I should bring my Ford truck poster from over there and move it over here. So whenever I'm doing the videos, that's in the background and not the Chevy truck poster. How long have I been at Ford? I've been at Ford for almost 7 years now. But of those 7 years, I was not always on the books as a Ford technician. I was actually hired as a independent tech at first with no stars ID, and I would do just like all used cars, Duramaxes, Cummins, Power Stroke stuff. I would do everything that came in the door. It wasn't just Fords. And then eventually the dealer was interested in having me certified to work on Ford, so then I went straight Ford. And May, May or June or something. Maybe. January, February, March, April, May. I think May is when I hit 5 straight years with Ford. But I've been doing this longer than that. I was in the heavy duty field and the ag field and stuff before this. So the Ford stuff was really nothing for me when I started. It's all nuts and bolts at the end of the day. How are the 21 F-150 5.0s? So far they've been solid. They don't come in with any problems or anything like that. So we have no problems with the new 5.0s. So far everything's been good. Gary, Indiana. What's up, man? Right next door to you. Ticking noise lifters? Ticking no or Tom, are you asking for the person that asked above? I'm not sure what you're asking or what you're saying if you're answering their question. Ticking noise can be anything. Ticking noise, not just lifters. What's up, brother? Greetings. 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 What, in your opinion, is the best heavy duty truck for daily usage and rare fifth trailer towing 12,000 pounds looking for decent comfort and reliability? Leaning to gasser because of the diesel cost and maintenance. Oh, uh, I mean, if you're looking to buy brand new, if you're looking to get like a 23, aren't they releasing the 6.8, the new version of the 6.8 or some, I don't know, I think it's a 6.8 and 23. Um, if you're not looking to go diesel, I mean, you could go 7.3, but they're intermittently having some issues with lifters at about 35 to 45,000 miles where the lifters are turning in the bore. I mean, I would push the 7.3 all day long if I was so uncertain, if I wasn't so uncertain that there might be some kind of issue there. But the only ones that we've seen come in with these types of issues with the lifters are like heavy duty companies, concrete companies, companies that work these things that idle all day. They're the only ones that we've seen come in with the lifter issues at about 35 to 45,000 miles. But if you're meticulous about your care and stuff like that, and you're not trying to abuse the hell out of this thing, and you actually treat it like it's worth something instead of just a dog that's in your fleet, 7.3 Godzilla is going to be more than enough for pretty much anything that you need. CP, I wish I was on Zoom right now because I'd pull CP on here and DS on here and Ray on here, everybody on here. Ticking noise evap valve. The ticking noise could be an evap valve. Um, you mean purge valve? Is that what you mean? Because if that's what you mean, yeah, it'll sit there and make all kind of damn noise. It'll just sit there and tick and tap. It's more of a tapping sound than a ticking sound, but I guess you could explain it that way. Brian says, I've got a question for you. We got 20 Ford Transits in our fleet, 150s, 250s, and 350s. They range from 16 to 20. Can aftermarket Ford Pass be added to them? I have no freaking idea. As far as I know, if it wasn't built with it and you don't have all of the modules to support it, like I think TCU and all this other stuff, no. It would not be cost effective to be putting Ford Pass in that. If it was me, I mean CP's here, so CP might know more about the electronic portion of adding Ford Pass than me. But if it wasn't built with it, and you got to add all that stuff to it. I wouldn't do it. Why? Why waste your money? Why would you want Ford Pass added to it anyway? I would stay as far away from Ford Pass as I possibly could. 2020 F-150 with the 5.0, I sometimes get what feels to be a binding or something that's grabbing when I'm at slow speed in third or fifth gear. Trans was serviced last year. Doubt it's that. Uh, Slow speed binding, like something grabbing. Like, do you have like a parking brake cable or the shoes or something or whatever? Well, not on that. That's going to be electronic parking brake on that, so that ain't going to be the case. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. I wonder if you got like so U joint starting to dry up or bind up, or you're gonna have to go through the suspension and check it, and make sure everything moves freely. Check those IWEs and stuff, and make sure they're not binding up. Uh, Other than that, I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, some third to fifth gear. I'm at slow speed in third to fifth gear. Trans was serviced last year. You feel a binding that's grabbing when at slow speeds. I mean, I hope it's not something silly like a brake kick sideways or something and locking up inside the groove. I mean, I know it's silly, but I hope that's not it. Something silly that you missed. Um, I, off the top of my head, I don't know. I need to see it. I'm sorry, that's just it's so vague, and you specified third to fifth gear, which makes me think it's transmission related. But then you said it's been serviced, and you don't think that's the problem. Well, if that's not the problem, whenever you start to feel that happen, throw the vehicle in neutral and see if it does it. If it stops doing it while it's in neutral, then you got a trans problem. There you go. There's Ryan. What's up, Ryan? What's up, my other boyfriend? On the ignition, so if they do break it, I don't know. So watching from Lexington, Kentucky, love the videos. I appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate that. Hey, if you guys get a chance and you're on Facebook, we got our own Ford Boss Me group on there. Same icon, same name. All you got to do is just go find it, and it's open to the public, so there's no thousand questions you got to ask to get in or something like that. Just go in, be respectful. A lot of people are talking during the day and sharing their trucks and stuff like that and getting ideas from each other. And I thought it was about time we did something with our community because, CP and DS and Ray and Aaron and me, we're all talking all the time. I said, why not make a place where everybody can just openly ask questions to each other instead of having to go through email and everything else? They just ask us right here. Snuggle up and you seen that? Snuggle up and hug up. Mhm. Is there a decent kit out there to redo all the vacuum lines for a 94 F-150? That's all CP's garage right there. He knows all about that stuff. No one recommends the 10-speed tranny. Let's be clear on that. It's because they haven't figured it out yet. A lot of people were praising the 9-speed that Chevy had in the Equinox, and then they were like, oh, okay, no, it's not really that great. And then people were like, Dodge with the 8-speed actually did pretty good. They're not having all the failures that Chevy and Ford's having. And then I started seeing some mixed issues, like people saying some mixed things with that. But the majority of people are saying, no, that 8-speed trans is actually pretty dang good. They don't have a lot of problems. They don't have to worry about another two gears. So you're not jamming those extra two gears in there to make more happen, and they're getting away with the 8-speed transmission what we're not getting away with the 10-speed transmission. And I don't like how clunky it is and how it shifts for gears and the criteria on the description and operation and theory of operation on how it works. It's terrible. And the 10 speed in the F-150s, the 10R80, it's just so clunky and clattery. When you remote start or cold start it, there's even criteria in the service manual that talks about how the CDF drum primes, and it has that initial engagement bump of the drive shaft. And the trans guy was like, no, it's in the manual. If you actually read it somewhere in the manual and like the description and operation, it talks about how the CDF drum 710 pack primes. You can get a little jolt in the drive shaft. And a lot of guys have been talking about that for years, trying to figure out what that is. And there's been like tons and tons of videos of people remote starting their trucks and, oh my God, my truck must be broke because it's making this thumping sound. And he's like, no, if you just read the description and operation, it's actually normal when that happens. There's nothing wrong with the truck. It doesn't cause any damage or anything. I'm just, I'm tired of all that. I was done at the 6 speed. I was okay with the 6 speed trans and I wanted to go nowhere further than that. There is a Venmo to donate, or you can donate on here, super chat, or um, I've been putting for people that wanted to donate. I've been putting my Venmo and Cash App in the pinned comment whenever the video loads. Thanks, CP. Just started buying lines and work my way through it. That's what I would do. Um, that's what I would start buying lines and just working your way through it. That's how I do all my older trucks. I'm relaxing after last week of being sick. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Happy that you feel good now. 1862, love that truck. F-250, 30,000 miles. Was going to start doing all the fluids. When for preventive maintenance. Should I do PCV replace? If you keep the oil changed and it's not really consuming oil or anything like that, I mean, you could do it as a preventative, but I don't know. I mean, pull it out, shake it. If it still rattles around, put it back in, right? Just like the old lady. Grab her by the hips, smack her on her booty. If it still waves from one side to the other, you're good. You don't need a new one. Uh, which do you like? Pennzoil Ultra Platinum or Valvoline Extended Protection? Ooh, Mike putting me on the spot. Why you got to put me on the spot, Mike? Look, I like Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. It has done wonders with the EcoBoost community, quietening down the engine some and things like that, and they really love it. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen the virgin oil analysis yet. We're probably about a week, not even a week out before I get the results back from the Pennzoil Ultra. But that Valvoline extended protection, dude, when I seen the oil analysis on that thing and the CST viscosity and stuff tested so good, and I'm looking at the calcium and the phosphorus and zinc, and I was like, wow, this is nice, man. There's a lot of protection going on here. And then I see the Molly is at 295 parts per million, and then look at the boron, which is like over 200. I said, man, I've never seen an ad pack like this. I've never seen an oil analysis test with numbers this high, and the calcium and the boron not be through the roof to the point where you got to really, really, really be concerned. It's hard to say, man. I think we need to wait for that Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. I've run the Pennzoil Ultra Platinum already, and I absolutely love it. But I've also run the Valvoline Extended Protection in the Sierra, and it was nice. That truck ran smooth. The AFM didn't have any problems. There was no ticking on startup with that AFM running that extended protection. So it's hard for me to say. I'd have to wait for the virgin oil analysis to come back on the Ultra. I've done it used, but I've never done it fresh. Those two oils are by far the best, most affordable oils that I've tried on the market that you got to order the Ultra from like Napa online or like Amazon. The Valvoline Extended Protection, I've seen it at two different Walmarts. I've seen it at other stores and stuff. I've seen the Advanced. I sent the Advanced out a couple days ago. So I sent Valvoline Advanced out full synthetic, Quaker State full synthetic. What was the other ones I sent out? O'Reilly full synthetic, Fram full synthetic. I feel like I'm missing one. I feel like I'm missing one that I forgot. I'm not saying it, and I sent it out. It's in the video. I know I'm missing one. Uh, 2006 60 clean out the fuel tank, put in new guts, lines up housing. I run 150 to 200 miles a day. The pump keeps going out about every 3 to 4 months. Change oil every 200. Okay, so 60 cleaned out the fuel tank, put in new guts and lines, pump housing. I run 150 to 200 miles a day, and the pump keeps going out about every 3 to 4 months. So fuel pump keeps going out every 3 to 4 months. If you get a fuel pump that's going out every 3 to 4 months, is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm gathering from you? Is the fuel pump keeps going out every 3 to 4 months? Have I been seeing a lot of Kia Hyundai theft in my area? No, but I also don't pay attention to Kias and Hyundais either. I mean, I don't. I don't know. I haven't. Bearded Four guy has a vehicle up of or video up of a cool jump pack. Yeah, he I think he uses the Nocos. If I'm saying it right, the Nocos or something like that. They're expensive. You should see the one that I have out there. It's called the Locathor AW401. It has got a a 2.4 gallon or 2.6 gallon per minute washer pump in the bottom of the jump pack, and it has a tire pressure inflator up to 150 or 200 psi, and it has a 2500 amp hour jump pack all in one. And when I was at the SEMA show, when they flew me out there, I got to sit with Locathor and have them demonstrate this thing. And they put a garden hose with a quick release pressure thing in it, and it snaps into the front, and then you got a drop in filter that goes right into your bucket. And I was like, huh. So these Super Duties, when they blow out them plastic lines that go across the top of the engine, the real thin ones where the elbows break all the time on the Alumiduties and stuff, and I got to go out there and put in a new kit. It kind of goes down to the heater core, comes up, it clips into the plastic fitting or the metal line, and then it goes around to the plastic fitting, travels across the front. When I'm done with this thing, I could go out there and just change the lines right in the parking lot. I could take a 5 gallon bucket out there with me, and I could just wash the truck off right there with my little booster pack. 2.4, 2.6 gallons per minute. That's a lot of water from a little pump. I could wash that engine bay and stuff off right there and never even have to bring the truck inside and just let it sit out there and run until it all heats up and smokes off all that water and stuff. And I ain't even got to bring the damn thing inside. I ain't got to drag out the hose and a pressure wand and everything else. I could just do this right here in the parking lot. So the guy said, "Here, I'll do you one better. I'll hook the pump up real quick, and I'll drop this down into a small fish tank, and I'll show you how, man, that thing pumps water like crazy." And it had a readout, a digital readout in the window, and he didn't even recharge it. It was like 80% or 90% charged, and it still had like a 40 some minute runtime with that pump. Lithium technology, if the time was correct, lithium technology has come a long way. And their whole theory at Locathor is trying to make a one unit pack so technicians don't have to keep going back and they can just carry everything right with them as they're moving. I mean, they even had a station that would power your house. It was a 3 tier, like 1.5 foot by 1.5 foot stackable lithium pack that would just take like 4 or 5 hours to charge the whole entire stack. And if you ever lost power, you could hook this setup directly into your emergency outlet to power up your house, and you could run tons of stuff in your house off this lithium battery system for several hours before having to recharge again. So in a quick emergency, running multiple rooms off of their stackable system, this is absolutely nuts what these guys are coming out with. Do you believe Ford builds the best trucks on the market? Yes, I do. And that's not even really me trying to be biased. I'm just tired of seeing all the Chevy junk that's going on. I'm tired of seeing the issues with Dodge and the AFM and the manifolds cracking. I listen to brand new Dodges in the parking lot when I'm out shopping for the house and stuff like that. And these trucks are a year or 2 years old. The manifolds are already pissing and leaking on them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm over it. I don't want any of these new LS problems. I don't want any of these new Hemi ticks and rattles and manifolds leaking and cracking and displacement on demand. I'd rather have the cam phaser rattle issues and the oil consumption issues than any of that crap that they're dealing with. So I want nothing to do with that. Yeah.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, baby. I'll come say good night to you.
Okay.
Thinking about how long I have been watching your videos, and I think it would greatly benefit your channel if you would hire an editor, a professional, to maximize information in videos that would leave you an ample amount of extra time to innovate and create new content. Well, are you volunteering for the low cost of $9.99 per week? Because if you are, you're hired. Serious question. Will Toyota still honor the warranty for my rusted 2000 Tacoma frame? Any guidance? Vanderpool Farms. Smash the thumbs up, boys. Show support for Boss Me. For Boss Me. He says, for Boss Me. Heaven, are you talking about your low pressure pump? What's up, Mr. 93 Cobra? 15 F-150 3.5 EcoBoost seems to be a lag starting off in normal drive, not so much in tow haul. Huh. Lag starting off in normal drive. Do you feel like it's a lack of power lag or like it's a, like you said earlier, like a binding lag? Brother Miranda? Is this the same Miranda that, please tell me you're not the same Miranda that's been creating a lot of new accounts that's been trolling me. Hopefully you're another Miranda. There's a girl on here. Her name is Miranda, and she first saw that I said something bad about oh nutty drunko Scotty Kilmer, and that sent her over the edge. Man, he or she, whatever it is, had everything in the world to say to me, "Oh, you'll never. You're just jealous of his 4.5 or 5 million." No, I'm not. I don't want that type of responsibility right now. I couldn't handle that right now. So no, I'm not jealous. Actually, I want nothing to do with it. The guy's he's not in tune with anything that's going on with new technology at all, zero. And when he does explain it, he's off the wall, inconsistent, and knows nothing unless he's reading from a screen. So this person, since I started openly talking about and exposing a lot of the stuff that he says wrong in his videos and doesn't explain things correctly, which leads people astray, this person has created like 6 different troll accounts to come back and start leaving negative messages on my channel, and I have to keep blocking this Miranda girl over and over and over again. I'm a bit late to the party tonight. It's all right. There's no time. Can I join if the only Ford that I own is a rusty Escort? You can join no matter what, Tom. You ain't got to own a Ford to join. You just got to be part of the brotherhood. Oh, brother Miranda donates $5 after I just got done telling this story about Miranda attacking the channel. I don't know if it's the same Miranda or not, but it's the same. I'd like to join a Facebook group as soon as I get out of jail. Dave, better leave your political shenanigans to yourself because Facebook don't like you telling the truth, brother. The new Super Duty towing ratings are insane to me. 40,000 pounds with an 8,000 pound truck. Yeah, they have. You're probably talking about the HO. CP, see ya. Sleep well. Thanks, Rich, for doing this after a long day of work. Much appreciated from upstate New York. 100 miles from Fort Drum. Hoa. Night, CP. Why don't they make a CVT that is easily serviceable? That is the future. Oh, God, Tom, don't say that. Wife needs help with the baby. Well, you go be a good dad and help, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. Hope you Facebook group does well. I was deplatformed from Facebook after someone hacked my account. Well, they did the same thing to me, Bill. I've had like 4 accounts, 4 groups that I ran. 2 of them got deleted, just got shut down. Facebook came in and I seen one admin drop. I seen 3 moderators get kicked off the platform, and just as 2 or 3 more admin went through and got booted off, all of a sudden I get a message, "Hey, they're kicking us all off," and I was like, "Man, you suckers!" Kicked us all off. Shut the group down. Is doing flood mode start procedure beneficial if you're not currently having the phaser rattle? No, not really. Just only do flood mode if you're having the phaser rattle issue and if you're changing your oil and if you've let the vehicle sit for a long time. I appreciate the donation no matter what, Miranda. How about Mobile One? How about not Mobile One? Tom, Mobile One's all right. It's just mediocre oil. There's nothing special about it. The trick is to buy trucks in the last year of the model before redesign. Happy with our 16 F550 and our 11 Ranger. Absolutely. Zachary. Thanks, man. I appreciate the donation. You know where it's going. It's going to go to the oil testing. Fram, um, you're playing with fire, brother. First, you ask about mobile, and you know what my opinion is on mobile and what I've showed you on mobile. I don't like it. And now you're a little throw up face with the Fram filter. What do you got with? What is your problem with Fram? Anybody here, if anybody wants to debate me right now, I'm willing to debate you. What is your problem with Fram? Any of you? What is your problem? And don't tell me my uncle something back in the day or when you go in the junkyard, you sit down. Just what is your specific problem with Fram? And don't give me no BS because I'm going to know if you're trying to reach. Wix products? Yeah, Wix is a good filter. The Wix makes a lot of the OE filters, and so does Fram. And so does Purelator. Make the OE filters. Bearded Fortec. I wish we were on Zoom. I wish you would have started the Zoom and then invited everybody, because then we could all be on here. Hey, Rich, do you think Liquid Moly is a good oil flush product? It's okay. I mean, it's decent. I don't think it's, I don't think when I use Liquid Moly on it was like a 17 cruise or something like that, 18 cruise. I wasn't super impressed with it. I thought it was all right for a basic flush. But if you're looking to do anything like any kind of real serious cleaning, that's not the flush for you. 114 people and we got 71 thumbs ups. Let's get it. Hit the thumbs up. The motor in the rail pump, it just stops. Put a new one in and works great, no problems. And out of the blue it goes out. It doesn't have a burning smell. Did you see what Vanderpool said by putting a filter in between? And that won't happen anymore. Did you actually make sure you're getting enough supply voltage down there in amperage to run that motor? Sure, something's not chafed or rubbing somewhere that's causing some of that to draw away, or to pull that line down some so it's not supplying enough power to keep it running. I had the dealership reprogram the 10-speed trans in my 18 F-150 to fix the hard shifting and it helped, but I've noticed it is starting to come back. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Yes, it does. It does. I see you, Anthony. I know you can start, but we're already here now. We may as well just run it. I mean, if you want to just run this until, if you want to go like, do you guys want Anthony to do a live stream? Do you want him to kick off a live stream and then you guys want to go on the live stream, or you guys just want to stay right here? Let me know. If you just want to stay right here because we're already here, that's good. But if you want the live stream, we could do the live stream too. It's up to you. Uh, yeah. So you could have issues with the valve body, or it could just be are multiple people driving your vehicle, and the adaptive is having to learn multiple people, and it's kind of throwing it off. It just all depends on what you want. This is what I would do. I've heard a lot of guys have success with this. You don't have to do it. You don't have to take my advice in any way, shape, or form. But this is what I've heard quite a few people lately say. They started the adaptive learn strategy, or they cleared it out. They let the trans relearn, and after about a week of driving it, they went back in the computer and they selected stop adaptive learn, and they never had a single problem with the transmission again. It just stayed exactly where it was at, the last protocol or kind of block data that it learned, and it never went. It just stopped learning at that point and kept exactly what was in there. Welcome to FBM Base Club. Mr. Transport, thank you. Thanks for being here. You are now a channel member. Do you think the 7.3 2022 and up is a reliable motor? It's kind of it's iffy, it's just for the simple fact that it's got LS style design to it. It's not the displacement on demand stuff or the AFM stuff, but it is still the LS type setup with the lifters and stuff are turning into plastic holders and the push rods bending and the camshafts delaminating, and we've already had a few issues with that, but that was people that were really beating the hell out of these trucks that are in like fleet type companies that have concrete businesses where they've got like 20 trucks, or some kind of landscaping company that where they beat the hell out of these things all the time and they idle all day. So it just I want to say I think it's reliable. I think if it was taken care of better and it wasn't a fleet owned truck, or if it was a fleet owned truck and it was meticulously maintenance, that would probably be dynamite, work great. But the fact that I know the guys that and I see the guys that come in and drop these vehicles off, they just don't want that kind of abuse. Bob, 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 how you doing? Everything's good. When I was a kid, my mom had a 1972 Chevy truck. Thing was bulletproof. Absolutely. If it's the same person, she did the same on my channel. Yeah, she went and did it to Ray and got blocked, and then I think she did it to Aaron or somebody and got blocked. Maybe did it to you. She's done it to me like 6 different times and got blocked all 6 times. I mean, there's only so many emails you can keep creating to come up with new accounts to go troll people. Ram HD has entered the chat. Well, Ram HD can leave the chat. Uh, I don't mind them. I've seen quite a few guys. There's been like this uptick in people talking about their 22 Rams failing because of cooling system issues. There's one guy in particular that had a hell of a story where his Ram, he was from Texas but was doing some work in Florida, and the cooling system failed while it was there. Then they said they were gonna have to fix it. He went to go pick up the truck. He went to go drive the truck, and it failed again. He had to go back to Texas, and then Ram, he was like, I'm paying like, what was it, $700 a day, or $700 or $800? I don't know what it was, a week. It was either a week or a day or something like that. It wasn't a day. It was probably a week. And he says, you're talking, you know, the guy makes like 8 grand a day working the truck. It was something like 8 grand a day working the truck. And he said, that's how much money I'm losing every day with this truck being down, because he does disaster cleanup stuff with that truck and like really disaster relief type stuff that he's involved in. And he was in Florida doing a bunch of that. And then I guess his something happened to his truck. They said they fixed it. He went to go pick it up. He left. Same thing happened over again. He dropped the truck back off. He went back to Texas, and I think it was like 5 grand a month or something is what he ended up. He's paying for the truck total to rent it out or something like that. And he said, "Man, it's expensive, but luckily I make $8,000 a day with this company, and I can afford 5 grand a month." But think about a guy that's a hotshot truck driver. Think about a guy that he's out there and he's trying to do everything that he can to provide for his family. He just got his first big truck to start his, the light. He can see the light in the tunnel, and he's trying to follow it, trying to do good for his family and himself. And then something like this happens, and you take this guy's life away from him, you take his livelihood away from him, and the dude has to pay $5,000 a month rental fee for a truck like this, and that's all he's got to his name. That's all he has to his family. And he just took everything that he had to put into getting a vehicle like this so he could be out on the road providing for his family. And he said, luckily I'm well off and I've been doing good for myself and I can afford this. And Ram says that they're going to reimburse me all this money, but still months later they still have yet to do it. And he said, they still keep saying they're going to do it, they're going to do it, they're going to do it, and still here I am, haven't received the money. Some story similar to that, something like that. But he said his own words were, think about the guy that doesn't have it as well as me, that is not as established as me, and you put a gentleman like that in a bind. These companies that do this type of stuff. And now I'm in Texas and the truck is there. I can't go back to Florida to pick up the truck. I've got my rental truck here. It's got to get returned here. Am I going to drive my rental truck to Texas to pick up my Texas and my truck and or my truck from Texas to Florida, and then turn around and come back to Texas and waste my time and my money and my fuel to go do it? That's their responsibility. They were supposed to fix it. They can put it on a transport truck and ship it out to me. And I guess he had to wait like weeks or months for the dealership to get their act together and send him his truck out to where he's at. I didn't see the follow up video, but I did see it pop up and the truck was in the background or something like that. Like he did receive it and a transport truck did drop it off, but I never continued watching the video. Scotty is like ADHD, but he shouldn't be made fun of. Oh, Tom, did I hit a sensitive spot? Are you feeling emotional now because I'm talking about your buddy? Maybe Miranda is they them. I think Miranda is probably they them. Scotty probably gets a bunch of paid. Scotty does get a bunch of paid sponsors. Come on, man. The guy will sit in front of the screen and talk about a donation drawing and all this other stuff, and they're gonna drop this car off to do a review. And why do you think he pushes that stuff so much? You don't think he's getting any of that money? You think somebody's just willing to have their name put out there like that, or charity be blasted by him and stuff? I remember he was talking about, oh, they said they were going to do this, and then they were going to do that, and then they didn't send the car, and then they didn't do this. He's one of the biggest automotive influencers on the internet. You think a company's really going to screw him over? And he made up this whole story about how they didn't send this and they did send that. Give me a break. Give me a break. The guy's, it's a lot of it's fabricated stories. I have a 2003 Expedition with 176,000 plus miles. Anyways, it has a rattle upon startup. After sitting for 24 hours, does this indicate the need for a new timing job? Yes. Change it all. Change everything. Would you sell 2017 Fusion 50,000 miles or keep it for the long haul? What do you think of their durability? Well, J Rock, probably sell it because they are shit. Unless it's a 2.5 liter, I don't want it. If you had a 2.5 liter, they're solid and they run a long, hundreds of thousands of miles. But if it's a 1.5 liter EcoBoost or a 2.0 liter EcoBoost or a 1.6, bye bye. I don't want it. Gone. Get it 5,000 feet away from me. I will only work on it, but I do not want to own it. Gear oil testing your future plans, sure, but that's as the channel grows and it's supporting itself, and I don't have to spend a ton of time at work. Yes, absolutely. TikTok banned your son's account. Why? Because he was calling some. Never mind. I can't say what I want to say. Howdy. This guy Subaru Kev says howdy. Admiral, not with A Rod in the team. Yeah. Aaron is down in Florida, kind of with some family and stuff like that. CP's not feeling so good. Beard Ford Tech is here. Rainman Ray, I don't know where he is. Probably lost, walking around in the woods somewhere. Are there any Mobile One truck and SUV analysis and tests? Oh yeah, I've already done them. You're kind of behind, man. Mobile is one of the first ones I started with because everybody was talking about it so much, and it ended up being one of the worst ones I've tested so far. Back in the 80s, there was bulletins that were put out, Tom, by, I guess I'm way behind in the chat. There was bulletins put out by like Cummins and stuff like that where they talked about not using Fram filters on their trucks. But this is the part where everybody gets really screwed. Let me fast forward some. There was another donation here. King Ranch, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Some of you may have to ask your question again because I just ran all the way to the bottom. So I missed probably about 30 comments. So if I missed you, um, Anthony Beard left, went to bed. Okay, all right, cool. Let me go back real quick. Everybody's gonna fill up the chat with a bunch of stuff, and then I'm gonna get behind. Um, So what people didn't get about the bulletin that was put out back in the day is they'll tell you um, they'll tell you stuff like, well, Fram was coming apart inside the engine, so Cummins back then said don't use a Fram filter on their engines. But when you go actually look at the bulletin, it was some of their own filters that it said not to put on the engine. It was some of the stock factory filters that said don't put this one on here, don't put this model number on here, don't put this Fram on here, don't put this Wix or whatever it was back then. There was like 6 or 7 filters in this SSM that they put out that said don't run on this engine. And 2 of them were their own factory filters that were acceptable ones that they said to stop using. So it wasn't just a Fram filter back then. And then people ran with all this information and they started spreading all this misinformation stuff. And it's like, okay, I get it. Some Fram filters, the cheaper ones, are not good. But tell me a filter out there that beats the Ultra or the Titanium. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'm still waiting. Tell me a filter that's on the market that has a better quality in the automotive spectrum that is better than the Fram Titanium or the Fram Ultra. I'll sit here and wait. Do 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 do. Nope. I appreciate that, Mr. Transport. I appreciate it. Nope. Not a Mobile One filter. I appreciate that, Lyle. I mean, my feelings get hurt too, Lyle. I'm talking about me too. I know you are, Wes. I'm talking about me too. I could be a sensitive asshole sometimes, and I really need to grow up sometimes. I get it. But that's me, and I'm sitting on this throne, and I run this show. And when we all come together, and when we're on Aaron's show, he's the boss. And when we're on CP's show, he's the boss. And when we're on Anthony's show, he's the boss. And Ray's the boss of the bosses, the bosses, the bosses. Ray's the boss of me because he's my boyfriend. Um, you know, we can all act emotional. We can all get a little bent out of shape. It's going to happen. But when we're talking about the specifics behind things, people just need to really chill out, man. It's like you got a guy that's really doing everything that he can with every free moment that he has, trying to help and educate people that will make a mistake sometimes, that people are so critical of that person. They want to beat you in the ground because you're doing something that they're not. And they're jealous of you. And they want you to feel bad. I think the X Tool D7 does do it. And then the one I had tonight, I was testing the Foxwell NT809. I think it's called the Foxwell NT809. It's a pretty cheap handheld too. And that handheld, and Fred, if you need one of my scan tools, just come by and grab it and take it. If you want to come by and grab the 4Scan laptop too, I'll just give you my 4Scan laptop. Just bring it back by whenever you're done with it. You can come. You can just come get it. You're not that far away. Um. Okay, so where was I going? Man, I done forgot where I was going with it. But we all get a little bent out of shape sometimes. You know, it is what it is. Um, but I just think when we're talking about specifics and I'm getting into numbers and I'm showing people this is black and white, there ain't no gray. I'm telling you exactly what's going on with this, and I'm showing you exactly what's going on with this. Why would you be upset with me? Why would you even try to argue with me? Just because your anecdotal experience says that this makes you feel warm and fuzzy doesn't mean that I can't give you something else to make you just a little bit more warm and fuzzy that has better numbers. And I think a lot of people have really opened up to that. A lot of mobile users, since watching my videos, I'm sure mobile is pissed watching my videos, but there's not a thing that they can do about it because I'm not lying about anything. I am not bashing their company. I don't talk trash about their company. I only speak the facts. I probably have thousands of people that have messaged me between here in TikTok that said, I quit using Mobile One and I went to Pennzoil Ultra, like you said, or Pennzoil Platinum, like you said, and it was like a night and day difference. At 3,000 miles, the Pennzoil was so clean still, no clattering going on. It was a much better running vehicle than when I was running mobile. Or my cold starts are better. You know what? When you got that many people that you can literally show and just scroll through the comments in those videos and see all these people saying this stuff, hey man, it can't be that anecdotal. It can't be that, just a placebo effect when you got this many people. Or maybe you can call it, oh, you're programming them. You're a mad scientist and you've learned how to program people through your videos and you're programming them like the government programs us, right? Still like the Ford Racing 820. That thing is beefy. That Ford Racing FL 820 or whatever their number is on it, that thing is beefy. Shopcat Industries. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Fred, I appreciate that, man. Speaking of scan tools, did Aaron send you my info? I got all the info. I've just you guys um I did my I had to make sure I did all the videos for these people that gave me the scan tools first of all. So Dave, let me kind of educate you a little bit and give you a little bit more info. Whenever I get the scan tools, I give the scan tools away. I have a $1,200 scan tool out there in the truck. I've got a $1,000 scan tool out there in the truck. I've got a $500 scan tool out there in the truck, and I got about a $400 scan tool out there in the truck. That when we get off here, I got to bring all that in. It's all got to get packaged up and sent off tomorrow. Some of it does anyway. And when I get these scan tools, I don't intend to keep them. I take all those expensive. Anthony will tell you, CP will tell you, anybody, Raymond Ray will tell you, Aaron will tell you. I don't keep any of that stuff. As soon as I get it, I do my reviews on it and I give it away to you guys. I don't keep it. I don't keep any of the tools that are sent to me unless I really desperately need it. I send them all back out to people in the community for helping me and being here for me. But I may run into a snag where one of the people message me up and say, hey, would you mind doing one more video on that scan tool since you only did one or two for us and we really wanted three or four from you before you send it off and give it off to somebody? At least do us that favor because that's a $1,000 scan tool you got or a $1,300 scan tool. Do another video on it, do another review on it. So I had to wait to make time to do that last review on that Foxwell NT809 tonight to send out and do the last video on it before I could get rid of it. And then the other one, the wireless dongle, I didn't know where the hell it was. I didn't know where I left it. And I went out to the truck and I'm cleaning the truck out tonight and I looked down in the pocket of the door and I said, there's the damn dongle right there. So I told Aaron, I said, yeah, I'm going to get it out, man. I've just been busy. I sat down with my service manager tonight and I said, look, man, I don't know if I could do this anymore. I really don't. Since that work incident that I had where somebody fell into my knee and screwed my knee up, I'll be fine for 3 or 4 days and all of a sudden it'll pop and swell up and then the whole damn thing will swell up like a grapefruit and it's hard for me to walk after being on my feet for a couple hours. And it's not really being on my feet, it's the bending down and getting in vehicles and out over and over and over and over and over again. That stuff starts aggravating my knee. And I sat down with him. I said, I don't know how much longer I can do this, man. I really don't. I think I'm at the end of my road with being a regular hand. I can't be just a regular wrench anymore. I'm thinking that I need to be in a management position, general manager, service manager, supervisor. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. And I've had about 15 to 20 companies over the last 2 weeks reaching out to me since I updated my resume on Indeed. And I've got dealerships that are that I've responded to, multiple dealerships that have asked me to come be service manager. I applied for a position at Hertz for the general manager at the O'Hare facility where they have thousands of cars, so I can get off my feet from being just a regular wrench anymore. And I told him, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to put the ball in your court. I want to see if you're okay with it. If you're okay with it, I'm more than willing to stay with the company. But I want to be like the front end supervisor kind of deal. I don't want the title to be a supervisor and tell people what to do. I don't want any of that. but I want that same responsibility. I want to work with the young guys. I want to help them get trained, help teach them about all the recalls, how to do the inspections correctly, how to look over the jobs correctly and stuff. I want to be a training aid to the shop or the central processor. One of the master techs, the senior techs, or something out there have a problem with parts didn't do something correctly. Hey, don't worry about it. Stay on your job. I'll go take care of it for you. Get it taken care of. Get them situated. Get back to the other guys. Make sure customers' vehicles and stuff are getting taken care of, or a big recall or some kind of problem diag comes in. Put me on that. Let me deal with that because I've got the most experience in those areas. So kind of like being a foreman without actually being a foreman. I don't want to take any lead role or responsibility from nobody in the shop. I just want to be there to support them the best that I can, but I don't feel like I can do that right now physically in a healthy way by being on my feet every single day, all day, because it is really, really starting to hurt my left knee. And I said, I just don't know if I can continue to do it this way. I think I'm at the end of the road with coming in here every day and just having at it like a wild man. I need to start thinking smart management, supervisor, general manager, or my own shop. Those are the only things that make sense right now. And he said, you know what, I like that. That would take a lot of stress off me. That would take a lot of stress off the service advisors. It would add a little bit more structure to the front end of the shop and stuff like that. Your direct communication with the customers and kind of taking care of putting out fires and stuff may work in our benefit. Let's sit down and talk to the service director about this and let's see if we can make this happen. So then we don't have to lose you. So, Dave, to be honest with you, the last 2 weeks have been really stressful, man. I think all of us right now that you watch are stressed out. I think Rain Man Ray, and Aaron, and me, and CP, and Anthony. It's just been a really stressed, goofy month in general. Couple months. It's been kind of hectic. What air freshener tree should you buy? I buy new car scent. I don't like the black ice stuff and everything else. Castrol Syntec filter. I did test one of those. It was a big giant green one. It was their synthetic line, and it had a really, really, really nice material inside. But it was very expensive. It was very big and bulky, and it looked just like another version of like a Wix XP filter. No, I mean you don't have to get Fram, Tom. Don't. I mean, let people get what they choose. Wix is good. Napa's good. The higher end Frams are good, like the Fram Ultra, the Fram Titanium. So if you're gonna do Wix, you could do Wix, regular Wix, Napa Gold, Napa Platinum, Wix XP, Fram Ultra, Fram Titanium, uh, Purelator, any of the Purelator filters. My favorite one, probably overall, if I had to pick a filter, let me just put it out there now so we can just be done with this conversation. If I had to pick a filter that I don't think anybody would turn their nose up to, and they would be like, you know what, I think that's a good choice, would be the Purelator Boss. It is a synthetic filter. It is a heavy can. They went to a 20,000 mile rated filter. Now they bumped it up from their 15,000 to 20,000. They increased the efficiency of what the filter at which it filters. And it's probably arguably the best filter on the market right now is the Purelator Boss. 20,000 mile rated, but it's expensive. It's like a 12, it's like 11, 12, $13 filter. But it is literally a boss of a filter. I appreciate that, Robert. Robert's always donating, man. He's always helping out the channel and donating. So, um, yeah, I know, Vanderpool. I wanted it fixed now, but they're making me go through this process of doing all this physical therapy, and then I have to go through the 3 injections, and they want to drag it out to like the end of February, beginning of March, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Um, Quick Shot said, with the updated media of the FL2124, do you think Ford will be rolling out synthetic media to the majority of their filters over time? No, I honestly don't. I mean, it won't be anytime soon. Congratulations on 70,000. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Body Man Bob. If you can, look up the Purelator Boss filter. I swear to you, when you, even if you just went by this, even if you took the Apple Platinum and put it in your hand, and then you took the Wix XP and put it in your hand, and then you took the Purelator Boss and put it in your hand, just by holding the Purelator Boss filter, you literally will feel like a boss. You'll be like, damn, that's a that's thick. That's a big filter. That's that's a big old filter. Yeah. I also started taking something else that seems to be working, but I don't want to say too much on here about it. But uh, if any of you guys know what MK677 is, you don't have to say nothing right now. But if you know what MK677 is, you can just say, I know, without actually saying what it is. It seems to be working pretty good. Tire? What tires should you get? Hmm. Hmm. You can't believe the Ram uses such a small filter on a 6.4. I mean, what's what tire should I put on my truck? And West rubber ones. Yeah, I think they are, Bill. I like left-handed drill bits. What's considered a normal trans temp on a 6R80 16 Ford F-150 V8 four-wheel drive? I happen to notice for the last 2 to 3 week while I'm at a stop traffic, temp range goes between 203 and 208. I mean, 195 to 205. You have to imagine it's going to be ballpark somewhere around operating temperature. Typically, it's a little cooler than operating temperature, but it's not like, oh my god, cooler. Uh, I would think somewhere 195, 205, somewhere in there. Why did they go smaller filters? My Durango used to have a big filter, but they changed it to a smaller one. Reduce oil capacity. Cheaper. Conventional oil OCI. 3,000 miles. I got the Continental True Contact Tour for my town car. Worked great here in Should I say it with an S, Ryan? Illinois. Okay, I'll ask for the round ones. Do you know the Purelator Boss number that is equivalent to the Ford 500s? No, I really don't. Looking for a puller for removing bearing inner race from hub. Any Rex, best 5W30 conventional in your opinion? Pennzoil. Pennzoil, or a lot of people lately have been saying they love. Uh, I think any of the lines now are going to be pretty good, but a lot of people have been saying they love Quaker State conventional when they're still running it. I really like Pennzoil conventional. I know what Bob would say. Bob would probably say get the Valvoline because that stuff is. I've never really heard. I've never really heard their name come up bad in anything like I have Quaker State and Pennzoil. Valvoline's always been really tight overall. Um, Wallcrow, holy moly, man! Thanks for the donation. Knock my socks off, slap me silly, clap an ass cheek, throw some Crisco on it, and shove it in, baby. I'm yours. Do you use Rock Auto for oil? No, no. I use Amazon. Amazon, Napa online. I do Napa. I've been doing Napa lately. Amazon, and then I just go down to the parts house down here on the corner, which is an Advance that still has like an old school machine shop. Um, they still have like two old timers working in there, and then two middle aged guys that still run the machine shop. So I'll go down there and get my oil and stuff from them, and I got O'Reilly's down here at the end of the street. Has a solution ever been found for the Super Duty long bed concrete highway isolation? Are you talking about the death wobble, Dave? Pop or soda? Ooh, 6 months is okay. Yeah, yeah, Alex. Yes. Pop or soda? No, I say pop. I don't know. I guess I just say if I'm up here, I say pop. If I'm down there, if I'm down south, I say soda. It just I switch. I switch hit. I'm sorry. I'm a pitcher and catcher on that one. 6R80. Oh no, wait. 6R80 Mustang transmission filter interval. I tell people that I like to see them change the fluid at about 40 to 50,000 and try to get the filter changed at about 70 to 80,000. So pop. F-150 2008 5.4. That is the first year, depending on which generation you got that year, where they went from the one-piece plug to the two-piece plug. So you could have been better off being a later build than an early build in 2008. I worked on a 2008 that had a bad engine, and I ordered an engine. The truck is on the channel. The first engine that showed up, it was the old model with a two-piece plug design, and I had tried to educate them at the salvage or the place where we were getting our used engine from, because that's what warranty wanted, was a used engine. And then they kind of seen what I was talking about, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we see in the computer that there's a mid-year change." It's like, yeah, this customer doesn't want two-piece plugs with a vehicle that was built with one-piece plugs. And if you look at the top of the VCT actuators where they plug in, the two-piece plug design had a big fat gasket around it, where the one-piece design had a much smaller, thinner, more, um, yeah, just less of a radius gasket around the VCT actuator or VCT solenoid actuator. You maybe have been unsubscribed from the channel. I had about 200 people resubscribe to the channel over the last couple weeks where I found out they were unsubscribed. And then some of the content creators here that I go to, like CP's Garage, DS, uh, Ray, I think Eric from South Main Auto, when I went and clicked on my subscriptions, I was all deselected from their. They removed me from being subscribed to their channel, so I had to go back and resubscribe to those guys' channels because my subscription was removed from their channels. There was like 10 people that I was like, "What is this?" I've always been subscribed to these guys. I love supporting them. Why would they unsubscribe me from their channel? 99, 73, 250, 400,000 miles on it. It does the duty and hauls the mail. Does your duty and do the duty? His duty does do the duty. I had a 2003 Expedition. I put a bunch of alternators in. I ended up putting in an expensive Motocraft alternator that it charged my battery light on, pulled the cluster and resoldered the battery LED. You mean pulled the cluster and pulled the light out? I don't blame you. Slit the inner race with a Dremel and use a cold chisel to split the race. Dang, Walcrow throwing that cash, clapping that ass. No, no, no. No, no, no. Socks gotta come off. I need grip, man. We're on slick floor. Marquitos. He says, here's a donation for you. My name is Marquitos. I am your sodomite. Thank you, sir. You go to the Napa on Southwest? Yeah. Wes, give it to me so I give it to Rick. Soda pop, Bud Light or Coors? Coors all day. I ain't drinking Bud Light. Coors. Well, I mean, if it's wet, I'll drink it, but Coors. Back end bounces like crazy on concrete highways. We'll put some weight in it. Damn, you got a Super Duty. You need to put weight in it. It shouldn't be bouncing around anyway. You need to work on that thing. I say soft drink. He says, it's a soft drink. Don't make fun of me. It's a soft drink. Surface Shield or the AMSOIL? Ooh, I think I would pick Surface Shield if I'm going to get in areas where I want to get kind of deep into it. And I want to really make sure I've got really, 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 really good coverage. But AMSOIL if I'm trying to make much less of a mess and I'm just trying to do some basic protection stuff. By the way, Rich, I bought a 22 F-150 5.0. Good job on the oil supply video. Wondered why my brand new truck idled so bad. Oh, you saw the AFM video I did where I explained how the actual displacement on demand or active fuel management actually worked. I like their system. I like Ford's system better than I like any of the other systems. Just because it's simpler, it's easier to service, and if something does go wrong, it's all up top, and you're not ripping apart the entire engine to figure out what happened or what failed or what broke. It's all up top. 5408 F-150 oil change interval if it's driving low miles. Castro 5W20. What miles or time change? I would say, oh God, at least once a year. I try to tell people if you can squeeze in 2 times a year, but if you're set on 1 time a year, that's fine. 1 time a year or 3,000 miles is what I would say. If you don't drive it that much, at least once a year or 3,000 miles. Because you just don't put enough miles on it. It needs to be changed more. It needs to get fresh oil in there and stuff like that. I mean, I would drive it more. I grew up in Georgia, so everything was Coke. Yeah, that's what my buddies down in like Louisiana and Texas would say. Everything was Coke. But then somebody would bring them a Coke, and they're like, "Man, why didn't you bring me Dr. Pepper?" Well, because you asked for a Coke. Well, you can't say that up north. I appreciate it, Tom. Catch up with you, man. Pop with foam on top. Night, Tom. Waiting on a 23 Mavic 2-liter turbo. What are your thoughts? Should be all right. Remember, you got a turbo engine, so that means you're gonna have more maintenance. Do you plan on visiting Dearborn in the near future? What if I told you my birthday is on the 24th, and we are going to Ford's Garage just out. What is it, in Dearborn or just outside of Dearborn? That following weekend. I think it's Saturday. We're gonna be at Ford's Garage. We're gonna go have dinner there and meet up with Aaron and just say hi to him because I haven't seen him in so long. I miss his face. We'll squeeze his cheeks, give him a little kiss on the lips, that kind of thing. We're gonna hang out right there in Dearborn this the weekend after the 24th. Is it okay to drive around a city in four high when most roads are snow packed or a little icy? Any long term? No, you're good. That's what four high is made for. That, especially when you got a little snow or ice on the road, you're fine. I mean, I might not even take my truck out of four high when the roads are consistently icy or snowy. I just leave it in four high and I drive around everywhere. And I'm bad about this because I preach to other people about damaging their four wheel drive system. It's because they don't know what the hell they're doing. But I've even been on the highway for long periods of time, not even realize, oh shit, I'm still in four wheel drive. But the roads are so nasty and slick and slush and ice buildup, especially when it's real bad. And at first, you first hit that real bad snowstorm, and they're just not plowing yet. They're not really getting out there getting at it. I've put it in four high and left it in four high and cruised down the highway 60, 65 mile an hour while everybody else is scared going 40. And you're not really supposed to cruise over 50, 55 in four wheel drive. But when the road is that slippery and icy and there's that much nasty slushiness going on, put it in four by four high and let her sing, baby. If she needs to slip and move around a little bit, more than capable of doing that. As long as that slipperiness is there and it can move and it doesn't bind up and jerk in four wheel drive, you ain't gonna have no problems. I have been on YouTube since 2007. Never had an issue with being unsubscribed from channels. I guess they leave old accounts alone. You might be right. You could get your knee fixed under workers' comp. Get a second opinion, and that doctor might tell you to get your knee fixed now. Billy, the one main doctor did. He said, "Really, you've got more time." He said, "You've got a lot more time before that knee is gone. Um, you've probably got 2 or 3 more years, and you want to try to get as far out as you possibly can. So when you do get the knee replacement, you've got more time." Because he said, guys your size, he said, even let's just say you lost 50 pounds and you felt better. You're still a big guy. You're still a big, strong guy. And your weight on that knee, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years max, you're going to be getting a knee replacement every 10 to 15 years after that. And I was like, oh, God, why are you telling me this, man? And he said, well, I'm just being honest with you. He said, so you want to try to go as long as you possibly can before you get it. So I don't know. I kind of think to myself, well, hell, if I got it now, if I got the knee fixed now, I'd rather be able to use my body the way I want to when I'm younger than wait when I'm older and not be able to function correctly, especially if I don't even make it that long. So I don't know what to tell you, Dave. If it's bouncing around like that, it sounds to me like you got too much leaf back there, man. You got too much support back there. It needs to be able to bounce around a little bit. I mean, has anybody modified your truck? Have they added leaves to your stack? I mean, what else? Is there bags back there? Or you got something going on where because why is nobody else complaining about that issue? For a 2001 7.3, what oil would you recommend due to the oil shear from the Hue injectors? I like the oil that Aaron and everybody's been talking about lately. It seems to do very, very well. That Hot Shot Secrets. Oh, nice. Oil clearance alert for everybody. Pennzoil Platinum and Castrol Edge and Valvoline synthetic $20 5-quart jugs and $2 single quarts at AutoZone. Hell yeah. My duty does not do the duty. At the moment, 0760 finishing up a main engine wiring harness. Yeah. I already did the fuel injector harness going to an all aluminum radiator while I'm in there. Yeah, you're right. That's rough. Smash a thumbs up. Show some support. Appreciate it. Any major problems with the second gen Raptors? Oh, no, not really. I mean, they were pretty sound overall. You might run into one that had timing chain stretch at like 120,000 miles or something like that, 100,000 miles. But they were, for the most part, they were pretty solid. I don't really see a ton of issues with them. They do have some issues, but not really that bad. Some GMs hide in the back for employees. Look and ask around at a few locations. I want a 22 plus F-150 with a 5.0. Yep. Those just the basic packages now, Ryan, they've come a long way. They're a lot nicer than what they used to be. The radios, the interior is really impressive. Very, very impressive. Can I appreciate the support? Says thanks for your channel. It really gives us non-mechanics great info. 95 people watching. Let's get those likes up. My boy says here if he has to come find you, he's gonna find you. Hustle la filia. What did he say? What did they say? What did they say on that? Hundreds of fifties, big ass titties. Count the green, get in between those big ass titties. Hustle la filia away. Dave P, if you don't mind putting the money into it, you could try a coil over conversion and get rid of the leaf springs. Problem is, a lot of guys don't like the coil over conversion, especially if they're working the truck. A lot of guys hate that. Appreciate that, Wes. Appreciate that, Wes. I'm a little behind, I know. Hey, Rich, took your advice on the APIM programming with FDRS, and it worked. Flawless. Thanks. Glad I could help. Absolutely. I love my 21 STX dressed better than my old XLTs. Good night. Good night, Thomas. Mountain Dew is the drink of Northeast Colorado. Best oil for a 2019 2.7 liter EcoBoost with 16,000 miles. Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, Motorcraft Full Synthetic, or something else. Ultra Platinum's good. Full Synthetic's good. I do have some Full Synthetic in the garage that I brought home tonight that I keep forgetting at the dealership. I've got some 5W30 diesel oil for the F-150, the baby stroke. I have some 5W30 Full Synthetic Motorcraft, and I have some Prime 5W30 Full Synthetic from Sam's Club. How about it? I didn't forget about you guys. I remembered tonight. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and get that tested too. I don't know. If I was you and you like honestly asking me and it's got that low mileage, you can get away with, you know, Motorcraft Full Synthetic, or I like Ultra. I just like Pennzoil Ultra, but I don't know. Since you have such low miles, hmm, I might think in. I don't know. But James, I don't. Let me see. Let me see. I don't know. I would run the Pennzoil Ultra if it was me, or Motorcraft Full Synthetic. If you wanted to really put something nice in there, like high additive pack, skip all that and do a Valvoline extended performance. I've had relatives have full knee replacement, and wow, they had a hard and long recovery. But I've been talking to a lot of people lately that have had like full knee replacement, and they're back on their feet within 2 months, and they're rolling. So I don't know. It's- Uh, I really didn't, man. I still have like I don't want to say anything about the Oxytane right now. I really don't. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to say anything about the Oxytane right now without me testing it more. I mean, I felt like it was changing a little bit, and I felt like I was getting better fuel mileage. But then I'd have a week where I really wasn't, then a week where I was, and I was like, yeah, I need to get this in a more controlled environment and use this more. So I'm thinking about possibly trying the Oxytane on uh, the F-150 with the 5 liter, trying to get a better idea with that. If you have info, Ken, let me know who he is. F-350, 7.3 T6, 540 now. Art oil, 91,000 every oil. She loves it. Loves it. She loves that oil. Did you do a shock replacement on it, or are they still stock? Maybe needs new ones, or we try air. Man, my neighbor had a knee replaced, and he answered his door 3 days later alone. Get her done. It's just on concrete, thankfully. I've lived with it long. Swapped B5100, no improvement. I really hope the best with the knee. I have back issues. Oh, well, I'm gonna try to wait it out before I get. Uh, that's what I thought as well, Ryan. When I used the Oxytane, I probably got like 1 to 2 miles more per gallon. The problem I have with that is you have to justify the cost of it. If you're gonna run it every single day at that rate, it is a system restorer. I get it. It brings it back to factory. I get it. But I couldn't justify in a vehicle that's pretty clean as it is spending that type of money and running it at every single fill up. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't know. Do I think you could still make money as a journeyman today? Oh yeah, for sure. In your opinion, as a new father, I've got the decision to make whether I should take the next step as an apprentice journeyman or get out and change career paths. Hmm. I've been with Ford for almost 4 years and have learned a lot, but every journeyman tells me not to continue on and get out of the business while I still can, and that is not profitable anymore. Mark, I know why they're saying that though, because they've taken so many years of setting themselves up for success with their families. So now they're able to take care of their families even through all those hard times. They've put money away and stock away and investment away and a lot of that stuff. And you only being with Ford for such a short amount of time, it's going to take you a long time to get there. But here's what I have to say to you, Mark. There's a lot of truth to what these guys are saying. There's also a lot of untruth to what they're saying. There's a lot of not being very accurate to what they're saying. Why do I say that? Because they've been saying that for 50 years. They've been saying that, since way back when. Every generation will end up saying the same thing. It just so happens now that it is more apparent than ever. It is going to be way more difficult with more computers being on board, having the uh, demand for parts and stuff that we have, yet they're not available. And I can tell you right now, I'm struggling. I'm struggling staying busy. No lie, I am. I wish I had more engine work, more trans work, more suspension work, but I don't. I'm getting a lot of diag, electrical, computer programming because that's the way everything's going. And that's what's becoming more and more apparent is that's the way everything. And guys, a lot of technicians and mechanics just flat out suck at that type of diag repair. They can be in the field for 30 or 40 years and absolutely suck at any kind of computer or electrical diag. They just are trash at it. But they can tear apart an engine or a transmission or suspension like nobody's business, rebuild a rear end or a front end like nobody's business. They are great at it. But get them inside tight spaces in a vehicle where you're going to break plastic trim or have to figure out what's going on with computers or programming or network system, CAN systems, and they shut down. They don't even know what to do. And that's the route everything is actually going. So a lot of those guys that are telling you to get out are telling you to get out because a lot of them cannot make it anymore. They're not going to make it with new technology coming out over the next 10 years. They're just not going to be able to hack it. I appreciate that, Dr. John. Which Boss filter fits your 2014 E350? Ah, I don't know. I mean, we could look that up. I could get off of here and I could find what do you have on the E350 5.4? So what, you got an FL 500 on yours? Is that the factory filter that you run on that one? Is an FL 500? Then we would have to figure out what FL 500 crosses to the Purelator Boss filter. Um, yeah, I know Fred personally, and he was not looking happy right at the end of being at the dealer, and I think he's much happier now. He's he'd been in the business for a number of years, very well respected, and now he's working at a utility company, and he's doing very well for himself. So, um, I'm kind of like in the same boat. I'm looking at the same thing right now. Either I'm gonna be moving into. Ideally, I'd like to move into a supervisory management type position. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was hoping that Hertz Corporate would call me and say, "Hey, you applied for the general manager's position, and we see that you've already worked at the facility in our automotive and diesel department, and that's the general manager we're looking to replace." Like, I already know the guys there. I already know the facility. I already know how the business is run. I just don't know the office side of things. I was hoping they'd call up and be like, "Yeah, we'd like to offer you like 150,000 a year to come on board with us, and you can be the general manager." I was like, they ain't gonna call. Still waiting on the new exhaust for the 50. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. She ain't gonna let me do that. She would kill me. She would absolutely kill me. She wouldn't kill me. She'd be like so mad at me for doing that. She don't want to drive that thing and hear loud exhaust. I'm telling you right now. I thought about doing that to her truck. I thought about pulling the AFM out of her truck and putting a cam in it and like some lifters and nice push rods, lifters, cam, and putting some decent rockers in there, and then cleaning up like the heads a little bit, putting some long tube headers on that 5.3 and that GMC Sierra she's got, and tuning that truck a little boost and running the living piss out of that truck and just letting that sucker sing. Well, I appreciate that, UP. Yeah, I thought about that. Now, real Tev, I thought about that. I was laying on my side the other night in bed, and I turned over to the side so she couldn't see my phone. And I'm like laying there, and I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" For like $500, I could get like a tune and everything. It's like an extra 45 horsepower, and it said something about 60 foot-pounds of torque. And then you can select if you want a bigger package and you want to go up to 600. It says they have a tow tune, a horsepower tune, and like a fuel economy tune. And I was like, uh, I'm thinking here. They have a whole upper end kit for that truck. There, it's like I think it's like $2,200 or something like that, or $1,700. You can get the Boss intake manifold for it. You can get the upgraded Edelbrock throttle body for it. I think it moves it up to like an 88 millimeter or something like that. You get the tune for it, and you get the cold air intake for it. It's like I don't know if it's $1,700 or $2,200, and you're supposed to get some ballpark somewhere around like 80 horse and like 90 to 100 foot-pounds with the cold air intake, the throttle body, the Boss intake manifold, and the F-150 tune. Turtle wax trim. I did the one side already. I showed everybody how it worked with the lower valance on the truck. I didn't even clean it. I didn't prep it. I didn't do anything. I went out there with that graphene from Turtle Wax and I did that whole lower valance. It was all nasty and faded. It made it look brand new. I didn't have to clean it or do anything because I said, I know what you guys are going to do. You guys aren't going to go clean it. You guys are going to go just apply the stuff. So I'm not going to follow the directions. I'm going to do it exactly like you guys are going to do it. And let's see what happens. And it was just amazing how nice and new it looked. And just like a week later, I'm driving around and it's raining and stuff like that. I look up underneath the truck, still looks brand new, not washing off or anything. A week after that, I look down again and I'm like, damn, that stuff ain't wearing off at all. It's been raining like crazy. Still there, still look brand new. But now somebody sent me a professional kit. It has like a cleaner bottle, a conditioner bottle, the application bottle, and like a sealer, and there's like a bunch of pads and stuff like that. And it looks like it's an actual professional kit that you use for trim restoring. And people, I think somebody messaged on the channel the other day. I think it was the guy that sent it to me and said, "Hey, when are you going to use this stuff?" Well, it's been nasty out. It's been nasty and rainy and stuff all the time. The plastic's always wet and stuff. I said, "Wow, I want to at least give me like a day where it's actually dry, where I can apply this stuff and then let it sit and then get nasty." It's been nasty every single day. Oh yeah, the Schaefer 9. The next thing that I'm gonna put in the truck, I'm probably gonna run Valvoline in the truck. Um, I thought about running Valvoline 0W20 in the truck. It's a 5W20 truck stock, right? And all these new vehicles are going to 0W20. And I was like, huh, I wonder if I should do a test on that truck while it's still young and low miles and try out the new Valvoline 0W20 that all these vehicles are going to. See what happens. Why not? It's rated for 5W20. 0W20 is going to be within range temperature spec anyway. And it's the cold season. can't hurt anything. I'm running 530 in it now, and the engine's not wore out. She's still a baby. She's only got 80,000 miles on her, so or 85. This would be the perfect time to try it if I'm going to try it. Everybody's talking about, oh my God, my fuel mileage went up like a mile and a half per gallon, and my cold flow start is so much better with 0W20, and all these new vehicles are going to 0W20 stuff now. So I figured, hey, maybe now is the time to actually try it. Go get some Valvoline full synthetic 0W20 and give it a shot. See what happens. Okay, we slowing down in here. Everybody's wanting to go to bed. I want to go to bed. We've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes. See that right there? That timer thing right there? Hour and 45 minutes. I don't know if that lines up on your phone or not, or your computer, but here it says 146 now. Let's all go to bed, guys. I use Redline 0 every 20 my 4Runners. Good night. Walker, if you need me to help you cross that number, I'll help you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting me through my venues and my ventures and everything else. And I promise you, no matter what happens at the Ford dealer, I'll let you guys know. It is not their fault if anything happens between us. Just so you guys know, they didn't do anything wrong to me. They've treated me with nothing but respect, and I want you guys to know that I have the utmost respect for that dealership. If I choose to not work there anymore because we can't work out an agreement, don't think anything bad about them. Don't take anything out on them. They literally did nothing wrong to me. So if we part ways and I end up going out on my own, please uh, give them the respect of saying hey, thanks for allowing him to work there and get his feet wet there over the last 5 or 4 years, 4.5 years. No hard feelings. It's just unfortunate that it goes that way. If we sit down tomorrow and we can't come to an agreement, and the next thing you know, you guys see me walking into my shop and I'm running my business full time on my own, congratulate me. No hard feelings to them. They're wonderful people. I love them for giving. I had nothing when I started there. But if it comes to that tomorrow when we all sit down, please understand that it was my decision to walk away from this because of the conditions of my work every single day. And it's not their fault. So I just want to say good night. Y'all be blessed. Take care. And I really do love you guys. I care about you. And if you need anything from me, you let me know. Remember, we have the Facebook group now, Ford Boss Me on Facebook. 10 times easier to get a hold of me and ask questions than all the other guys. Get on the Facebook group. It's open, it's public. Take advantage of it. Be blessed, y'all.